Hello, it's Tuesday the 25th of December 2018, which means it is Christmas Day. I have had a cold for about 12 days now. I've been coughing a lot and blowing. I don't think it was the flu, I just think it's just taking me a lot longer because I am pregnant to kind of fight it. My sciatica has been excruciatingly bad. I think only now it's beginning to lift, and I've actually been hobbling around with a crutch just there just to give me some stability. Oh look, nice bin full of snotty tissues. I've got a little Belsy here. Sciatica pain is really bad. It's just like a stabbing pain in my right bum cheek, literally a pain in my bum. I have a physio appointment. Hopefully they'll be able to advise me as to what else I can do. I think this is more like an attack rather than going to be a continuous thing throughout the pregnancy, because it is feeling a lot better today. Yesterday I went for my glucose intolerance test at the hospital. I'd fasted for 12 hours. Went to the hospital, they took my bloods, and then they gave me a really sugary drink. I had to wait in the waiting room for 2 hours, and then they took another blood test, and I guess they'll test for the levels of glucose in my body and whether I'm producing enough insulin for myself and the baby. And then in the afternoon we went for the growth scan. So at my last midwife appointment I was measuring large, and over the 3 centimetre range that they kind of provide for pregnant women, the baby is measuring average, which was like such a huge relief. The head is average, the abdomen is average, so the baby isn't big. I have dreamt of being pregnant for the last 3 Christmases. I finally have my little baby baking in my oven. 28 weeks. Luckily I haven't had any stretch marks yet. I have been using a concoction of oils and creams, but so far I haven't had any stretch marks. Oh, what's this? I don't know what that is. That might be some stretch marks just there, or I don't know, we'll see how they develop. Hello, so it's the next day, it's Boxing Day, and the telephone went today at 9:30, and I just thought, that's not a good sign. Mel handed the phone to me, and the lady said she was the midwife at the hospital, and unfortunately my blood glucose levels were high from the test on Monday, and I do have gestational diabetes. She said, I'm really sorry to be giving you this news on Boxing Day. And I was like, it's okay. She said actually it's quite common with women who have polycystic ovaries syndrome. I have polycystic ovaries. I never thought I had this syndrome because I've got regular periods, but she said because you don't make enough hormones, or you make too many hormones, it's a hormone imbalance basically. That's what PCOS is, and so is diabetes, because I'm not making enough insulin for myself and the baby to break down all the glucose. That's probably why actually I am measuring so big, and I look big. Everywhere I go people are like, oh wow, when are you due? I'm like, March. I'm like, wow, you've still got ages to go. So yeah, that's probably the reason why I look so big. I'm just feeling a little bit down today. I feel a bit blue. I was just a bit upset. I really enjoy eating. I really enjoy shopping for food. I really just love eating food, and I think now my diet's going to be changed a lot. Portion size will be reduced, and I think it kind of robs the joy a little bit of like the 3rd trimester and just life in general, because I love eating. So I probably won't be able to have as many sweet things that I have been craving. I've not naturally normally had a very sweet tooth, but during the pregnancy I wanted Fanta, cake, rice pudding, and the other day I had a whole bowl of ambrosia custard to myself. So I've been really craving sweet things. The midwife said we're going to get you in for a few more growth scans. It all sounds very serious, but hopefully it will just last for the next 3 months, and then my body will recover after I've had the baby. So yeah, I'm just sitting in the nursery. I love being in here. It's very comforting for me actually. Hello, so today I am 34 weeks and 6 days pregnant. The baby is head down at the moment, and I think it's been head down since week 28. The head is down, the back is all up here facing outwards, and I've got a pair of tiny feet just here nestled under my boobs and in my like rib cage. I also know that the baby's head down because it's been hiccuping loads. It's the cutest thing ever. It's very soft, gentle, rhythmic pulsing down in my pelvis. And I think it's because the baby's learning to breathe and practicing the breathing techniques, breathing in the amniotic fluid and the diaphragm, pushing it out. It goes on for about 5 to 10 minutes. And it's been doing a lot of that recently. So it's very reassuring that I haven't got a breech baby, fingers crossed, and that by the hiccuping it's head down. In terms of movement, I've been feeling kicks, but also just general shifting of my belly. You can see like ripples of movement, and it kind of shakes and jolts. It's quite fascinating. I'm feeling a lot more positive and upbeat about my gestational diabetes diagnosis. I know the last time you saw me I was very down. I went to an educational course that the hospital held, and there were about 5 or 6 other women who had recently been diagnosed as well, so I didn't feel alone. We met with the dietitian and the diabetes nurse, and we were given like all this information that I've had to absorb, and I've been pretty militant, determined and focused about it, because it's really important that I don't get too big and the baby doesn't get too big. It really does produce negative health outcomes during labour and postnatally as well. I'm on a very strict regime where actually I don't feel like I'm on a diet as such. I feel like I'm eating all the time. I have this little kind of sticking machine, there's a little needle in there with a lancet, and I literally prick my fingers 4 times a day, before breakfast, an hour after breakfast, an hour after lunch and an hour after dinner. Pop this little test strip into this little device and then just test the blood. And then I keep a record of all my scores in this little diabetes journal logbook. I also keep a note of everything that I have been eating. So my meal plan consists of breakfast, lunch and dinner, and also 3 snacks after each meal. I'm also on a very carb controlled diet, so it's really important that I don't cut out carbs. I must always have carbs, because if I don't, then my body starts to break down my fat reserves, which produces ketones, which then is basically like giving acid to the baby, so it's really, really bad. So they've always emphasised that having carbs is really important. I'm just on a restricted amount of carbs, so during breakfast I can only have 20 to 30 grams. I was like having 1 Weetabix and a bit of milk, and even that, it takes me close to being under the score, which is I'm meant to be under 7. So, you know, it's really hard to keep your blood sugar in check. Lunch I'm allowed 30 to 40 grams of carb, and dinner 50 to 60 grams. So I'm allowed more carb grammage throughout the day because I become less insulin resistant. The diabetes team are keeping a close eye on me. I go to see them every 2 weeks, and I'm basically there to see the obstetrician, the doctor, the diabetic nurse, the dietitian, and I'm literally in the hospital for 4 to 5 hours. The diabetic nurse said she was really happy with my levels, and if I keep on going as I am, they won't have to induce me early, so they might let me go to 40 weeks plus 2 or 3 days. And she also said if I keep on going, they won't have to give me insulin or metformin, which I just don't want to take the insulin, because apparently that's quite painful with the injections. And actually at my last midwife appointment, I think I was 31 weeks, she measured me with the tape measure again, and I was measuring perfectly. I was measuring 31 weeks exactly. I don't know if you remember in my second trimester vlog, I was measuring 3 centimetres over the range, and I've also managed to lose 5 pounds. So the baby has put on weight because I've been for 2 growth scans, but any excess weight that I was carrying has now kind of been dispelled. So this kind of diagnosis has really got my glucose levels under control, and I really do think in a way it's probably a blessing in disguise, because I probably would have just ballooned. I've noticed the weight loss in my face, in my legs and in my bum, and as I said, it's me that's losing the weight, not the baby. So yeah, I'm feeling like my pregnancy is probably a lot more healthier now. Another not so great thing about pregnancy that I have managed to develop, that I don't know of anyone else that has, is a pregnancy related benign tumour behind my left front tooth. I've noticed it since December, and it's just been getting bigger and bigger. It's a soft, spongy lump. I went to the dentist and she basically said hopefully it will fall out and just come out after labour. If not, they'll have to excise it under local anaesthetic at the hospital. So this is me at 34 weeks and 6 days. It has grown, I think, significantly. The baby is now 4 pounds in there, and I'm veering towards girl right now. What do you think, boy or girl? I'm thinking girl, just because I'm carrying quite low. And I think the last time I showed you my bump, there were hints of stretch marks, but they have really come out in all their glory. I like to describe them as my flames, because they do look like flames of fire. And it's a very normal part of pregnancy as well, so that's why I'm proudly showing them off. And they're all furred to silver as well, so it's really no big deal. Good morning, it's Monday the 18th of February, and we are on our way to our 36-week scan. Mel's got a bacon sarnie, I've got a sausage back. Don't really know quite what to expect today. Feeling a little bit nervous, a bit excited to see the baby. So we're just back from the scan. They confirmed that I only have 2 fibroids. There are no fibroids by the cervix. The lady said at the 20-week scan they probably were quite low, and now that your uterus is expanded, there's one here and there's one on this side. So, and they haven't grown that much, so it shouldn't prevent me from trying to have a natural birth. We saw the baby, we saw the baby's little nose, its lips and its chin, and it was sucking in the amniotic fluid, and Mel was like, oh, I could see by his face he was like getting a little bit emotional. Baby is weighing 6 pounds and 12 ounces, and I was like, whoa. And actually I'm finding now when I get up to stand, everything feels very heavy and I have to kind of steady myself before I start to move. This is the bump at 35 weeks and 6 days. So let's whip it out. Here we go. Oh, looks so big. Hello, baby. Baby's head down. The back's here, the thighs here, and then we have got feet here, which is what I've been feeling a lot of kicking. Hello, baby. Hello, everyone. Not long to go now. Hello, so today I am 38 weeks and 1 day pregnant, and I've got a baby's foot right under my rib cage. Baby has been moving and thumping and kicking loads and hiccuping, and we are on the last stretch now. It's less than 2 weeks, sorry, it's a bit uncomfortable, away from my estimated due date, and a lot of babies don't appear on their due date, so I'm preparing myself for the baby to come at any time now. And also last week I was 37 weeks, and in my book it said your baby is now considered full term, and I was like, hooray! I mean, it would be lovely if it arrived now, but I'm quite content to carry on being pregnant for the next couple of weeks, because I am really going to miss this time of feeling the baby's movements within me, all the hiccuping, little jabs and punches and the kicks. It's been such an extraordinary experience. You know, you guys know I've been waiting so long to fall pregnant, and I really feel like the third trimester has just gone whizzing by, and I'm just like, stop, I want to press pause, I need to stop. Next week I'm going to see the obstetrician. I think they're going to talk about giving me a membrane sweep to try and encourage labour. For the last week I have been given some feeding syringes to start harvesting my colostrum, and it all looked quite daunting when I was reading the literature. But actually once I got going and started massaging my breasts, I was able to fill up the 1 ml syringe in half an hour, when they said in the thing, you know, it could take you up to the whole day, or you might not even get that much the first time round. So I was gently giving myself a pat on the back, because not much has gone well for me during this pregnancy. You know, I've had the gestational diabetes. This oral tumour, it's a benign tumour, pregnancy related tumour, has been growing not only at the back of my tooth but now at the front. It's bleeding a lot, and I'm really conscious of it as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the colostrum harvesting, and there's about 6 or 7 syringes now in my freezer, because the baby has been used to receiving like extra glucose from me, perhaps when I have had the odd spike. It's been producing a lot more insulin than a normal baby would, so that when it's born into the world it might be hypoglycemic, have low blood sugar. So they're going to squirt the kind of feeding syringes into the baby's mouth to kind of stabilise the blood sugars. So that's why doing this is so important. So this is the baby bump at 38 weeks and a day. Still lots of votes for girl, actually, I think, because I'm quite low. But saying that, if you look at the back of me, I don't look pregnant from behind apparently, which could be an indication that I'm having a boy. Stretch marks are very, very visible now, and they're actually creeping up higher above the belly button line, and my belly button is so incredibly flat and stretched out now, it's crazy. So yes, that's my baby bump. Good morning, today is Thursday the 14th of March 2019. I'm 39 weeks and 2 days pregnant, and I've just been editing my third trimester vlog, and it's getting quite long now, and I'm also going in for a membrane sweep later this morning, and I think I'm just going to make a new video about that, my induction and labour, so that this video isn't just massively long. So I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in labour.